Okay, hello everybody again. Take two. I just went ahead and stopped the first one because I had the rotation of the screen wrong and it just wasn't cooperating and letting me getting it fixed. So I'm just tuning this in, trying to get my little halo out of the way. Okay, let's try that. Hopefully this is gonna work. If you're watching, let me know you're watching. Let me know I've got it the right way, which I'm pretty sure I do this time. So just checking my laptop here. There we go. I see it's live. Okay, so if you're watching, just comment, say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching on the replay, let me know you're watching on the replay. When I finish with this later, I'll upload it to my YouTube channel so that you can check it out there if you would prefer to go look there. Or you can go back and look at it at any time. Facebook deletes these live videos after 30 days. So after 30 days, you can still find this on my YouTube channel, which is just under my name, Tracy Comito. All right. Yep, we're still showing live. Okay. So I am here today to demonstrate these 4 cards, and I'm using the Fragrant Layers stamp set and the coordinating dies that go with it. And this is one of those that I didn't think I had to have at first, and then I kept seeing people make stuff with it and I really liked it, so I ended up buying it. So we're just gonna jump right in. We'll start by pulling a few of these out of the way. And we'll start with this one. Why do I feel like there's such a shadow? I think on the camera, I think what you see doesn't show the shadow, but I see a shadow on my side, so I'm just gonna keep rolling with it. So the cards I'm gonna demonstrate, again, I'm using the Fragrant Layers Bundle, the stamp set with coordinating dies. I'm gonna show you 4 different cards, and I am celebrating my 20th anniversary with Stampin' Up! This month. It's actually next week is my anniversary, but today they announced that they were offering free shipping for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of this week on all orders of $75 or more. So I decided it was the perfect time to combine it with my special that I wanted to offer to celebrate my 20th anniversary. So for this week, if you email me an order of $75 or more in product, I will take 20% off the product total, and you're going to get free shipping from Stampin' Up!, which saves you another 11%. I also will send you the free card kit to make the cards we're going to make today. You'll make 2 of each card, so 8 cards total. You can use the Fragrant Layers Bundle, or you can use whatever you have on hand, whatever floral bundles you have on hand. And I'm also including, was part of my monthly special, was every $75 order this month, you get a free adhesive caddy. So it's a little desktop caddy. Actually, I'll grab one and show you. Sorry about that. It wasn't as close as I thought it was going to be. But it's this little desktop caddy. And it'll just sit on your desktop when you take it out of the plastic, out of the gift bag. And it has glue dots. It has Tombow glue. It has some tear tape. And it has a packet of dimensionals. So you get that for free. You're going to get the card kit to make 8 cards total, 2 of each design, for free. All for placing a $75 order with me by sending it to me via email. It's stampintracy@hotmail.com. There's no G in the stamping, and I'll include that in the links after I finish the video. And you're going to get 20% off your order from me and free shipping from Stampin' Up! So it's a great time to stock up, purchase anything that's on your wish list. get any cardstock adhesives that you might need, some extras on hand. And don't forget, in April, they will be retiring our 2024 through 2026 in colors, which are Pretty in Pink, Peach Pie, Shy Shamrock, Summer Splash, and Petunia Pop. So for those 5 colors, if you need to get an ink refill or you need to get any of your cardstock to stock up before it retires, once they put it on the retiring list in April, it usually sells it really fast. So it's a good time to get it now. Anyways, let's just jump in and get started. I'm going to just set this aside a little bit here. I have all of our supplies here, and the designer paper that I am using today is actually called Striped and Dotted 12 by 12. And it is a pack of designer paper that was available for demonstrators as an incentive. So I earned it for free. I thought it was perfect to use this on these cards because I love the colors. And all of the patterns are stripes or polka dots. So we'll pull this out. All right, so I've got all my pieces here. And this is going to be a card that stands up. So I have a piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, white, or thick white cardstock, that I've cut in half the long ways and then scored it in half for the card base. And we'll go ahead and crease that and set that aside. We're going to set aside these other pieces for a minute so that we can do our stamping. So I am going to get out my foam mat. Try to make sure I got this where you can see it. And the first stamp we're going to use is the floral outline stamp that is part of the Fragrant Layers Bundle. And we're going to stamp that using our Memento black ink, which if you've not seen my videos before, I have used one of our uninked large ink pads, foam ink pads, and put Memento ink in there because I just find it's easier. It's just a bigger surface to work with. But it's the same as this one. It's just a much bigger stamping surface to work with. So we're going to just ink that up. And we want to stamp this off to the right side of the paper. And then we need our Calypso Coral. We're going to stamp the words, and on this one we're using So Happy for You. And we're just going to stamp this down here on the bottom. Also to the far right as we can go, because we are going to add some designer paper along this side. And then we're going to, one thing I like about this stamp set is it is a 2-step stamp set. So if you don't know what that is, it basically means that they provide the outline stamp, and then they provide the stamp that kind of colors it in on the inside. And to color this one in on the inside, it's several. So there's the one for the flowers, and there's the ones for the leaves that we're going to also use. So we are going to use Darling Duckling for the flowers. So I'm going to go ahead and ink that up. And I sometimes think I should leave myself notes because I can't remember if I stamped this off. I did. Okay. So we're going to ink that up with the Darling Duckling. And then on a scratch piece of paper, I'm going to stamp it once. That just gets a little bit extra of the extra ink off because we want it to be a little bit lighter in color. And then I'm going to come in here and we're going to just line it up. And so you can just line it right up with the image. And then see, that way you get a little lighter color of the Darling Duckling. We're going to use, for the center of the flowers, we're just using There's like a little round stamp that's included. And for that, we're using the Calypso Coral. But I am stamping that off as well. So we're going to stamp it off. And we're just going to put that in the middle. Just add a little color to the middle. All of those are stamped off. It just makes it a little lighter color. And then for the leaves, just move a couple of these out of the way because they're kind of in my space. We're using the soft seafoam green to do the leaves. I think I did these full ink. So that's what we're going to go with because I'm pretty sure that it's full ink. So we're going to ink that off to the side. You've got the one stamp that does the 3 leaves. There's another stamp that has 2. And you just have to look to see which one it is because they're a little bit different. And then we have the last one, which is going to fill in this last pair of leaves down here at the bottom. And that's what a 2-step stamp set does, is it allows you to add all these different colors and fill in the outline of the original stamp. So I love 2-step stamping. It's one of my favorites. So I'm going to move that aside. And I'm going to get my adhesive out because it is time to do the assembling. So I have a piece of... So the cardstock, the white cardstock that we use to stamp on is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I have a piece of the designer paper. You can see it's stripes on one side, it's polka dots on the other. So you can use whichever side you would like. But I am going to, just making sure I had the right size. I am going to use the stripe side for this one because we're going to use a little bit of stripes and a little bit of polka dots today. I'm just doing my 4 dots of glue in the corner and 1 in the middle so that we can just adhere this right on there like that. And then we're going to adhere it to a piece of the Darling Duckling that is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And we're going to adhere that to our cardstock base. Just make sure we have it opening the correct way so we don't put it on upside down. Not that I've ever done that before. Our 5 dots of glue. Now, it'd be really fun if you wanted to. You could come back in and you could use your Wink of Stella, which is our like our glitter pen. And you could just add a little bit to the flowers or the center of the flowers with the Wink of Stella. And you could add some embellishments on here as well if you just wanted to spruce it up a little bit. So that is card number 1. Set that aside. Let's do card number 2. How pretty is this? So this is Lost Lagoon is the color of the designer paper, and that is also the color of the ink that we are going to use to stamp the same. I'm just closing the other ink pads that I don't need right now so they don't dry out. I'll go ahead and open up the Lost Lagoon. Set this aside so that now I have already in my envelope done a bunch of die cutting ahead of time, and I will show you everything that I cut out so that you can see what all comes with the card kit. So we're just going to set these pieces aside. We're going to start with our little banner for our saying. And we're using the Just a Note on this. And this little banner comes from my favorite, the Stylish Shapes dies. Absolutely one of my favorites. Item number 159183. It's been around for a little while. I wouldn't be surprised if it retires soon. So if you don't have it, I highly recommend it. We're going to stamp the Just a Note. Obviously, if you were stamping this at home and you had the dies and the words, you could stamp it first and then you could run it through the die cut machine. But if you get the kit in the mail, they will be die cut for you and you just have to stamp on them. So then what I've done is I have used the coordinating dies. I'm going to kind of just show you them here. I have used the coordinating dies to cut out. I've used this one and this one. I've used the leaves and the flowers. So I have cut out a bunch of images using the dies. So this is in petal pink, this is in white. We've got some leaves that are in soft seafoam green. And then we have a bunch of little flowers that are in petal pink as well. And this is what we're going to use to put on our card. So I'm just going to move this up a little bit. And we're going to start, actually I'll just keep it on here. I'm going to protect my foam mat by using my silicone mat instead. Anytime I am using adhesive, I like to use the silicone mat because it dries on here and then you just can peel it or wipe it off. So we're going to, first I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool and just punch out the pieces that did not punch out yet. It always takes longer when you're trying to do it live, right? All right. Don't forget to say hello if you're watching. So that one's done. And then we'll punch out a little bit of the white. I love how all this detail that shows up, if you can see that. There's just a lot of detail on the flowers. And those little pieces out of the way. All right, so then we're going to adhere the petal pink outline over the white. And we're just going to use a little bit of glue randomly kind of around. The trick here is just don't use too much. You don't want it to seep through. And you really don't need that much in order for it to stick. You're just going to line it up. There we go. And then we're going to add the leaves. But to add the leaves, I'm going to use mini glue dots. So I'm going to turn the leaf over to put a glue dot on the part that goes underneath the flower. And I just need to figure out the orientation of this flower. All right, so this one goes somewhere in here. Again, I'm going to flip this over. I just want to get a little bit of the edge. Tuck it in here. And one more. that in here. Now we have assembled this piece, and because we use a silicone mat, we have nothing sticking to our table or to our paper or anything like that. So I'm going to set it aside. I'm going to get the pieces out for the card. So the card base is petal pink, just a half a sheet of cardstock that we have scored in half. We're going to fold it, give it a good crease. For the inside of the card, we have a piece of white cardstock that is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and we're going to add our 5 dots of glue so that we can add that on the inside. We have a piece of the designer paper that is, this is the Lost Lagoon, and it is 4 inches by 5 1/4. Where again, we're going to do the 5 dots. We're adding it to a piece of Lost Lagoon cardstock that is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And we're going to add that to our card base. So this one, we're using the polka dots, but you're welcome to use the stripes if you would like. And then we are ready to add our flower to the front. So we're just going to come in and just add a little bit of glue on the back of the flower. Try to put it somewhere where it won't necessarily seep through. And you're really just kind of centering that piece. For the Just a Note, we're going to use some dimensionals. So that we can pop that piece up off of the card. I'm just going to use 2. You could use 3 if you wanted. Probably shouldn't do it upside down. There we go. So we're going to add the Just a Note across here. And then I have a bunch of these little flowers. These were all punched out with 1 die. I believe it's 7 flowers. And again, I'm going to use the glue dots. So I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool to pick up the flower. So I can then place it on the glue dot, and then use the other end of the Take Your Pick tool to come in and place it on the card. If you don't have Take Your Pick tool, highly recommend it. Definitely one of my favorites. Just want to make sure the flowers, when you look at them closely, there is a right and a wrong side. Like one side just looks more finished than the other. So you just want to make sure you've got them facing the right way. And there we go. Now you will have extra flowers that you are welcome to use if you would like. You also could just throw them on the inside of the card so they fall out and the person receives the card. It's always kind of fun. So that is card number 2, which is the Just a Note. Make a little space here. Set that aside. All right, let's do this one next. This one is petal pink. I had to think about what color that was. Sorry, took me a second. I've been playing with a lot of different colors today. So this one's petal pink, and I used my same favorite die for the label piece. Then I also used, this one is called Branching Out dies. And I cut out 2 different sizes, one in white, one in petal pink, so that they layer. And this is what they look like with a nice halo, sorry. That one looks like it's 165775 is that item number. It's a great, like if you want something that's not like a circle or a banner, like it's just a nice option to have for doing layered backgrounds like this. So I'm going to set this aside. And we're going to pull out our foam mat because we're going to do some stamping. And this one we're doing It's Your Day, and we're using Calypso Coral. So we'll go ahead and ink that up. That is stamped. Move that out of the way. We're going to pull out our Memento Black ink again. And you definitely want to use the Memento Black for this part because we're going to do some coloring. And we're going to ink this up. And stamp it on this piece that we've already cut out. There we go. Now we're going to do a little coloring. I'm going to pull out my silicone mat only because I don't have a good piece of scrap paper to use, so we're just going to put that underneath so that the color doesn't bleed through. And we are using our blends. We're using Calypso Coral, Petal Pink, and Soft Seafoam. All right, there we go. Oh, and one other color. I think I used the light Lemon Lolly. So I'll just start with that because for the Lemon Lolly, all I did was just color this in. I did not do like 2 tones. If you've ever watched me color with blends, I like to make it quick and easy. So I'll just show you how I do it. So that was pretty easy. I did not do the 2 different colors on that one, and I'm okay with that. But I will go ahead and start with the dark seafoam green. And I like to use the brush in most of the time. I'm just going to come in and kind of trace the lines. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just trying to make it look like it's part of the stem of the leaves. Then we're going to come in with the light seafoam green. I just colored it. And I don't worry about hitting all of the white spot when I do this because I just think it adds more tone, more color if you don't hit all of the white. When you use your blends, you want to make sure you never use them straight up and down. So you never want to be coloring like this because you lose the point of the blend if you do that. So you always want to have it off to the side a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and do the petal pink next. So we're going to start with the dark petal pink. I'm going to use the brush in, and I'm going to just kind of come in and highlight all those little lines. Now, there are some people out there that if you follow them, you will see that they're really good at the coloring part. I'd say I'm average, and I'm okay with that. So now I'm just going to come fill it in. And you don't want to blend away everything you put on there because you want to have the different colors shining through. If you do blend it too much, I'll show you how you can fix that in just 1 second. So if I want to go back and add just a little more highlight to it, then I can go back and use this brush end again and just add a little bit more. It just gives your flower a little dimension so it doesn't look so flat. There we go. The last color I'm going to use is Calypso Coral. We'll start with the dark, and this time I'm going to use the other end, which is the fine point end, and I'm just going to hit the little dots in the middle of the flowers. I'm going to come in with the light Calypso Coral, but the brush end, and just color it in. Like that. Now, you can play with your blends, get this exactly how you want it. I honestly have seen some absolutely beautiful cards made with blends where people really spend a lot of time on them. This was me spending the minimum amount of time, and I still think it's very beautiful. So I am good with this level. So we are ready to assemble. We're going to start with our card base, which is half a piece of thick white cardstock, cut in half, scored in half. Give it a good crease. This is the petal pink stripes versus the polka dots, and we are using the stripes. The only way you can get your hands on any of this designer paper is by getting one of my free card kits this week, because this designer paper is not available for purchase. All right. Then we're going to layer our branching out dies, the white on top of the petal pink. And we're going to adhere that to the front of the card using dimensionals, popping it up a little bit just to give it a little more interest. I'll show you a little trick. If you ever struggle to get your dimensionals, the backing off of there, if you take your nail and just push in there, it lifts it up, and it's super easy to get it off. You also, you have the take your pick tool, which I couldn't find it, can use that to get underneath it. I use dimensionals on most every card, so for the most part, I don't really ever have any trouble getting them off because I've used them for so many years. Well, 20 years to be exact. All right, and then we're going to add this to the front of the card. And then we're going to add the It's Your Day, and it's going to go on here. And I'm going to actually take a sheet of dimensionals that's mostly gone, and I am going to cut. I like to use the whole sheet, so we're going to cut a couple, maybe 3 of these skinny pieces, and we're going to put them across the bottom. Oops, it was just the backing. There we go. And then maybe just put a couple dots lots of glue on the top. So that we can layer that on here. My printer's talking to me in the background. And that is the end of that card. Again, this would be really pretty if you wanted to add a little wink of Stella, which just for fun, I'll just pull that out and show you. This is what our wink of Stella looks like, and it's, I always do that. You just pull it off. It's basically just like a glitter pen. So I'm going to just come in and add a little just to the center of the flowers. And hope that you can see how it just gives it a little shine, adds a little glitter to it. Okay, so that is that card. We have one more card. Thanks for sticking with me if you're still here. If you're still here, say hi. Let me know you're watching. I haven't quite figured out how to demonstrate the cards and respond to the video at the same time, so I will respond to everybody when I finish recording. All right, so we have, this one is a fun fold card. So you can see how it just opens up a little bit different. So I have got all the pieces. I will set this one aside so we can still see it. We have just one piece of stamping to do, and that is on our tag. And what are we stamping on this one? Just a note. Okay, and we're using Calypso Coral to stamp the just a note. There's also hello is another one of the words that you can use in this stamp set, which I think I actually meant to do that. So I like to try to use all the pieces when I'm demonstrating. I think I just kind of forgot on this one. So we're done with that. I'm gonna move that aside. And I already pulled out all the pieces, but I will show you on the dies. I'll turn it this way so you can see the whole thing. So I have cut out this die here, cuts this piece out here, which I just need to poke out all the extra little pieces. And then we have the background of the flowers, which actually goes behind this piece and lines up that way. Then I have also cut out a couple of the leaves. I hope I have all the leaves that I need. If not, I'll be cutting some out on camera. The only reason I don't cut stuff out on camera is because I just don't have a big enough workspace to have it all on my desk. So I just find that it's easier if I pre-cut stuff. Let's see. There it is. There was the other leaf. Okay. So we're basically ready to assemble. We're going to start by poking out all these little pieces that need to be poked out. You could totally use your foam mat to do this. Probably be easier. I just like to do things the hard way. All right, so this card base is basically focusing on the Calypso Coral, but we're doing the flowers were cut out of Petal Pink, and they go really, really well together. Okay, now so we're going to first work on lining up. Make sure I'm in camera here. this piece. I wonder if it would help if I get out my foam, my silicone mat. So we're gonna, oh, I got pieces to punch out of here too. There we go. We're gonna line this up. Like that. And then we just need to add some adhesive. For now, we're just going to add a few little dots. The goal is just to kind of get it in place. And again, we're doing this on the silicone mat because it can make a sticky mess if you don't. So I'm going to just hold that in place for a second. Then we've got our leaves that we need to add. This one's going to go under here. So I'm going to turn this over. Add just a little bit there. This one goes, these are just slightly different. So you just kind of have to figure out which one goes where. But this one goes there. So add a little bit of glue here. Tuck that leaf in there. There we go. And then the last one goes up here. All right, now we have all of our pieces, all of our floral pieces are on there. And I have a piece of petal pink cardstock to go behind this that's cut just a little larger. I don't know the size, but it's just a little bit larger than the outline of the white frame. And so we're just gonna go in and add a little bit of glue. I know I kind of look like I'm using more than normal because I kind of probably am. We're going to carefully add a little bit of glue on the edge. This is where less is more. You just need enough for it to stick. And then we're going to flip it over, line it up. Hold it in place for a second. And that piece is done. So now we're ready to assemble the rest of the card. I have a piece of Calypso Coral cardstock. I've cut an 8.5 by 11 in half, and then I have scored it on both ends at 2 1/8. So we're going to fold that in and use our bone folder. I'm actually going to turn that place. We'll do it that way. Just give it a really good crease. All right. On the inside, we're going to add a piece of white cardstock that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. One of the things that I like to do every once in a while is I prep ahead of time, and I have a whole stack of 4 inches by 5 1/4 pieces of white basic cardstock. Just have a whole stack of it in a drawer. So I pull it out, sometimes to use on the front of cards, and mostly to use on the inside cards. So then I have a couple pieces here. So I have some petal pink, and I have the Calypso Coral, and we're going to use the polka dots, but you could use the stripes as well. we're going to layer that. Got 2 of them because there's 2 flaps on this fun fold card. So here's the second one. And then these pieces go on the flap. I'm going to cheat and do it the other way. Just don't go too close to the edge, and you can do it the other way like I just did. So we're going to add that on there. Do the same on the other side. All right, now we're ready to add this to the flap. And the key here is that you do not put glue on the whole thing. You're only going to put it on this half, on the back. If you put it on the whole thing, you won't be able to open the card. So we're just gonna do like a little strip of glue on this side. And the key is to just lay your card flat, center it the best you can. And then we just have to add the just a note and the card will be done. So we're just going to do some glue on this left side of it because it does hang over the edge a little bit over here. And there we go. That is the last card. So again, if you want to take advantage of my anniversary special this week, if you want to place an order with me, you would send me an email at stampintracy, Tracy, at hotmail.com. And just let me know what you want to order. You could put it all in your cart and then screenshot your cart and send that to me. That's probably the easiest way to do it. That way no numbers get mixed up or anything. I'm doing through Friday 20% off the product total. Oops. And Stampin' Up! is starting tomorrow, does free shipping, which is another 11%. So combining that together, you're saving 20% and the 11% shipping. And then you also get the free card kit where you'll make 2 each of the 4 cards I demonstrated today. And you will get my free adhesive caddy that can sit on your desk full of different adhesives that are my favorites. So thank you for joining me. And if you'd like to receive my newsletter, make sure you comment below that you would like to receive it and I'll get you added. I'll send you my information on my anniversary special that's going on this week. And again, thank you so much for watching.